Welcome to Students Forum. This Students Forum is designed to help you learn from the experts, grow intellectually, and succeed by applying all the tips and techniques from the experts. Today, I'm going to bring your attention to this very insightful statement. Consistent learning leads to light. Ignorance leads to darkness. Now, let me bring your attention to consistency, learning, light, ignorance, and darkness. If you do something, let's say, for example, if you study every single day without missing it, that means you are consistent. If you exercise every single day, it means you are consistent. Learning is a very beautiful word. It's important to understand the real meaning of learning. Learning means application of knowledge. If you learn something, that means you always get an outcome. Now, whenever you learn, you enter into light. So light here is a hidden word. I will explain what exactly light refers to. Now, let's focus on ignorance. Ignorance in this statement clearly refers to ignoring learning. Whenever you ignore learning, you ultimately enter into darkness. Darkness is also a hidden word, and I will explain the real meaning of darkness in the following slides. So let's get started. Now, when you learn consistently, learning will help you to enter into light. What is light? Like I said, light is a hidden word. Light refers to knowledge. When you learn consistently, there will be increased in knowledge. When you learn consistently, you will be full of wisdom. When you learn consistently, you will become smart, you will become intelligent, you will succeed in your life, you will be confident individual, you will be creative, you will think critically, you will always progress in your life. When you learn, you will be a visionary. You will have the ability to visualize and create a fantastic vision for yourself, to your family, to the society, to the country, and to the entire world. When you learn something, you will attract plenty of opportunities. When you learn consistently, you will become innovator. You will start inventing new things. There will be a lot of hope in your life. You will always be mindful. When you learn consistently, you will build a better future for yourself, to your family, and everyone. When you learn consistently, you will start building better relationships. You will find a better life partner. When you learn consistently, you will build a better network. You will find a better network. You will be part of an intellectual network. When you learn consistently, you will build better fortune. Most importantly, when you learn consistently, you will build a better, happy, and peaceful life. It means learning plays a very important role in everybody's life. There are so many people who stick to lifelong learning and then start entering into light. And you can see on your screen what light refers to. So, students, let's try to understand what happens when you also ignore learning. Okay, so before that, on the screen, you can see some of the real life examples who have learned consistently in their life. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, Mahatma Gandhi, Ratan Tata, B.R. Ambedkar, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Now, think for yourself. When you learn consistently in your life, you will become unstoppable in your life. You will build a better future for yourself and for everybody in the country. So learning plays a very, very important role. On top of learning with great values will make you a great human being, someone like APJ Abdul Kalam, Mahatma Gandhi, Ratan Tata, B.R. Ambedkar. So you should always focus on learning, number one. At the same time, Most importantly, you should always learn with great values. And what are those values? Truthfulness, faithfulness, honesty, caring, empathy, and many other great values, right? Okay, so let's look at what happens when you ignore learning. This is what happens. When you ignore learning, you enter into darkness. So, what is darkness here? It means stupidity. When someone stops learning, he's slowly entering into darkness. He's slowly becoming an idiot. And that will lead to a lot of confusion. And that will lead to a lot of limitations in life. And that individual will be afraid of anything and everything. A lot of doubt. There will be a lot of dependency on others when someone stops learning. And that individual will end up doing a lot of mistakes, a lot of misunderstanding in life. That person will only regret why he didn't learn, right? And if someone ignores learning, stops learning, that individual will lose lots of opportunities. Misjudgments will happen. That individual can be easily misguided. And for sure, that individual will be always frustrated, angry, and so on. No doubt, someone who stops learning, ignores learning, will face the toughest future or a challenging future. No doubt, that individual will for sure build poor relationships, finds a poor life partner, finds a poor network, and will be misfortune. And no doubt, if someone stops learning, if someone ignores learning from day one, ultimately that individual will lead a poor life. Let me show some of the real life examples. What happens if someone stops learning? What happens if someone ignores learning in life? That person will be lazy, frustrated, careless, ignorant, angry, will have bad attitude towards everybody, will be always confused, will be afraid, and will end up in leading a poor life, right? And today, everyone, I am going to introduce and welcome one of our guests, Hamza, who is a student currently pursuing BTech in Maths and Computing at Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. He is an AI researcher, currently an intern at Purdue University, United States of America. Now, he is a consistent learner, and it's going to be a very interesting discussion with him to understand what he's going to share and what are his thoughts, the kind of journey he had in his student life, and what helped him to enter into one of the topmost institutions of the country, and what kind of mindset, what are those qualities that helped him to become an intern at Purdue University. And this is one of the top institutes or universities in America where Neil Armstrong, I'm sure you know who Neil Armstrong is, right? He's the first man who put his foot on moon, an astronomer. So he is the alumni or a student of Purdue University. So Isa, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome, Isa. Hamza, thank you so much for accepting the invitation. I'm really honored you're here today. I know you're connecting from America. I know you will be back to India to complete your MTech at ISC. So congratulations on being an intern and AI researcher at Purdue University. So thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate your valuable time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Isa, let me start asking you this question. I know last time when I connected with you, you were in Bangalore and you were in IISc in the first year. And I'm sure, you know, we connected and we discussed a lot of aspects connected to your life and ultimately the kind of challenges you faced when you were a kid, when you were studying, right? I really want to, take your memories back to your school days and ask a very simple question. As a student, Hamza, how were you as a student and what kind of challenges did you face and how did you overcome those challenges?
So as a student, one of the major challenges I faced was the lack of people having similar mindset. So usually when you are in a place where a lot of people are like you, think like you, and have shared goals, similar goals, then it becomes very easy to stay in that environment and come up and actually achieve those goals, because you have constant interaction with your peers who have ideas and other resources to be better at skills required to achieve those goals. So one problem was growing up in Hoskote, which is in rural Bangalore. That environment is lacking. So in order to fix that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the attendees over here would be facing similar issues. They might be the only one in the entire neighborhood who might have some seriousness and goals which others don't. So for that, I tried to make myself my own competition. So instead of comparing with others first to have a sense of competition, I just compared with myself. I tried to be better and better, keeping my own benchmark as a standard, trying
Right.
to beat myself all the time. And so the second problem which comes with growing up in a remote place is that a lot of the times the resources you get, the kind of teachers you get, the kind of peers you get, of course, will not be up to the mark in some sense, if I may use that term. So the good thing is that now even in remote areas you have really good internet connections. So
Right.
YouTube is a really good place if you want to learn things. So let's just start with studying a chapter from a book. If for a thing as simple as studying a chapter from a book for an exam, you can just type the name of that chapter, and there are plenty of resources, plenty of excellent teachers putting out their content and their lectures on YouTube for free.
Right.
So the issue of having good resources has been pretty much solved ever since 2020. So after COVID, a lot of the things moved online and a lot of them stayed online. So YouTube has excellent lectures from your board exam preparation all the way to preparing for competitive exams like JEE and NEET. Personally, in the last 4 months of my JEE preparation, that is exactly what I did. I relied completely on online sources and it worked really well. Now, the second challenge I faced was mobile phone addiction. I'm sure a lot of teenagers these days, pretty much 90% of the teenagers will be facing such issues,
Absolutely.
being attached to their mobile phones constantly 10, 12 hours a day. Uh, so the first thing is to acknowledge how big of a problem that is. So it's not just taking away your time. I mean, so most of the people think that okay, if I'm spending a lot of time on my phone playing games and looking at Instagram, scrolling reels or whatever, it's not just taking away your time; it is also rotting your brain. So consuming a lot of short form content one by one in that fashion, scrolling especially, that releases a lot of dopamine in your brain, and once your brain gets habituated to that constant stimulation of finding more and more short term content, the amount of gray matter in your brain, the parts of your brain responsible for making good decisions, for controlling yourself under stress, for coming up with ideas, those get really weakened. So even 1 month of having an Instagram addiction of scrolling reels can really hamper with those things. It can hamper with your attention span. One will not be able to concentrate for more than half an hour on a single thing. So that is an issue I was facing, especially during COVID time, because no one had anything else to do. So one very practical way of getting out of that is to let me just show my phone actually. So there are apps on Play Store, you can download them, which end up making your phone screen look like this. So as you can see, there are no icons. Everything is pure text. There is no wallpaper.
Right.
So there are a lot of apps which can make your phone like this, which works wonders trying to get rid of phone addiction. This, for me, this worked a lot. The other thing is, even if you are watching YouTube, watching reels, whatever, try to consume content which is educational and which stimulates critical thinking. So you may follow some journalist to stay up to date with current affairs. You can look at some educational content. If you're into such things, there are a lot of geopolitics and discussions revolving around things which improve critical thinking and day-to-day awareness especially.
Right.
So Even if you're using your phone for entertainment purposes, try to watch some good journalists or other forms of educational content. There's a lot of content about, let's say, home nursing or all these sort of soft skills which help you be a good, responsible, and a critical thinker.
Right.
Now, another issue is that during your student life, you may face a lot of mishaps. So, by mishaps, I mean, imagine you're studying, you're very consistent, and the day of your exam comes and you fall sick.
Right.
That's something that can happen to any one of us. And inevitably, one day or the other, it might happen. So, in such cases, instead of having a major setback, because that is an accident, that is a very off-putting incident in your life, you may feel extremely depressed that months of my effort has gone into the drain. But you must realize the fruits of preparing, the fruits of studying, is not just to clear an exam; it's to make you a critical thinker. It's to
Right.
have critical thinking, intellectual ability in your brain throughout your life. So, especially during your 20s and your 30s, your mind needs to stay active if you want to make good decisions in life.
Okay, that's interesting. Yep.
Yes. So, that can be developed if you're studying well during your teen and early 20s. So, once you have the habit of thinking critically and analyzing things in a rigorous intellectual way, those skills stay till your early 40s, and that helps a lot. So,
Right.
the ages 20 to 40 is where you essentially build your life, where you do a lot of things. And having that ability, having that energy which a teenager has in his brain during those years is really helpful, and it really sets you apart from the rest. So, education and learning never goes to waste, even if you may not achieve a short term goal of cracking an exam. And also try to be grateful whenever you succeed. That helps you stay grounded, and during the times you are put off, during the times you're set back, or when you experience failures, that is also, something which helps. When you're
Right.
grateful and when you know that all the good things you achieve in life are due to so many several factors which involve a lot of luck as well, you need to thank the Almighty for all those things. So stay humble, stay grounded, even if you are at your top, and that helps you stay out of stress and depression when you're at your lows.
Okay. All right, that's really interesting, Hamza, and I really like the way you put everything together. I think you come from the rural background, so obviously from the town, and you did lack a lot of resources, but still you did manage to utilize the existing resources, because nowadays everyone on the planet, I would say, at least 70-80% of the people on the planet out of 840 crore people, I think everybody, they have access to internet. Everyone, they have access to the at least smartphone, right? So I think if you ask me as well, I truly agree what you said, that smartphone is a fantastic resource, and it entirely depends on the students, on the people, how they really want to utilize it, right? So smartphone can help you become a genius if you really want to become a genius, if you really want to become a smart individual like a smartphone or intellectual. You really need to find the right resources. Like you rightly mentioned, there are so many resources available, and you really do not have to pay for it. And I have seen a lot of students who have relied dependent only on YouTube, and they have learned and cracked the entrance examinations. Not only that, I think I saw one of the articles in the news where one of the students completely relied on YouTube, and then he was able to crack UPSC examination. And how did that happen? It's entirely dependent on where you focus, how you focus, and the resources you rely on. You rightly mentioned, like if students end up, maybe watching shorts or reels on Instagram or YouTube, ultimately that will reduce their duration of attention. So I think that's the biggest problem everybody are facing nowadays, because that's kind of an addiction. I think we need to find a way, especially the students, they need to find a way and try to restrict some time only for entertainment, maybe 30 minutes a day maximum, not more than that. Now, let's talk about, Hamza, the kind of academic challenges you faced. I know last time when we connected, you were investing at least 15 hours of your valuable time only on focused studies. That is the only reason why you are at Purdue University today. If you had not done today, I think you had been somewhere else. Now, what was the reason that made you to invest 15 hours of your time on your studies at IISc?
Well, 15 hours is sort of an inflated figure, I must say that, because that includes my regular lecture hours as well.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, yeah, if you include everything, it will be a good enough large number. So one thing was I conditioned myself to be extremely interested in the kind of things I'm studying. So I mean, there's of course a factor of luck in that. I mean, some people are naturally interested in certain things, and that worked out for me. That's God's blessing, I must say that. But one can also try to become interested in their studies. So instead of just looking at it as I have to study in order to achieve something, try to enjoy the journey as well. Because if you are in the mindset of thinking that I'll study for this much time, I'll study for 2, 3 more years, and then I don't have to do anything at all, that is kind of a dangerous situation because, as I mentioned earlier, the goal is not to achieve a short term goal, it's to stay a critical thinker for the rest of your life.
True.
So once that motivation also kicks in, you realize what you're doing is going to help you so much that you end up becoming interested to it. So subconsciously, that's how your brain works. The reason you are interested in something is because your brain sees a very long-term goal associated with it.
Right.
So you need to channel those hormones, you need to channel your dopamine in a way that you naturally end up engaging with the study material in an interesting way. So
Right.
a good way to develop that ability, if you don't have it, I'm sure like studying is not inherently fun for many people, for most people in fact.
Yes.
So you can try to solve puzzles on a daily basis. That really helps build interest in critical thinking and long-term study. So I don't know how many of you get newspapers at home these days. It has reduced a bit, but at least 10, 15 years ago, almost everyone had newspapers at home. Newspapers come with Sudoku puzzles, daily Sudoku. That's a puzzle you can try. There are a lot of puzzles you can try on a daily basis. Of course, there are so many games on Play Store which offer a lot of puzzle solving. So engage in such kind of activities in your free time, engage, and also try to introduce your friends and peers to such things so that there's a sense of competition. Like I did not have it, but you can try to have other people involved in such activities and try to compare and make it a habit to engage in activities that stimulate your brain. Puzzle solving is a great thing. There are a lot of other small things you can do even from your room. Like if you have a small ball at home, you can try juggling. That keeps your mind engaged.
Yeah.
So do little things which keep your mind engaged, and engage in rigorous debate and discussion with family at least once or twice a week. So by that I mean discuss a topic very elaborately, try to see what kind of opinions your parents and other members of family have about that. It could be something from recent current affairs, a recent incident. Lately there have been a lot of news articles about floods in Delhi and water clogging in Hyderabad and other Indian cities.
Right.
So you can try to identify the reasons why that happened. It's because of bad urban planning and other things. But try identifying the root cause and try discussing such things with your parents. And that way you always, one thing, you're connected with family. That's a really important thing. Be connected with your parents, be connected with family. Secondly, it imparts critical thinking. It keeps your mind active during that period. And an added benefit is that it also keeps your parents' brains healthy, because a lot of adults after their 50s start losing those analytic and intellectual critical thinking abilities.
Yeah.
So having prolonged discussions about topics, about intellectual ideas, can help everyone in a lot of ways. So
Right.
such things, slowly over time, doing these things will naturally help you become interested in your studies as well.
Right.
And
I think you mentioned really great points, Hamza. So I really want to, also tell the students that not really sure how much they captured or, how attentive they were. So students, I think the Hamza's message here is to follow what you enjoy, follow your interest. For example, if you think you love mathematics, you love solving problems, I think you should try and pursue a career or, design a goal that will help you to learn more of mathematics. And why not? You can definitely, try and go for the, because that's a technical domain that will definitely help you to crack some of the entrance examinations such as CET or JEE, right? So I think you can also be part of one of the topmost institutions, and then you can start building the career. And there are many other factors connected to that. So you will learn that one by one. That's one thing. And most importantly, try to be engaged in the productive activities. Just don't waste time in unnecessary things, because that will end up, changing your mindset, and that will only make you lazy, and then you will be distracted. You will be redirected from your goals, and then that will lead you to darkness, right? So let's not do that. Instead, you can, like Hamza said, be engaged with some productive activities, like maybe solving a puzzle, maybe solving a problem, and then having discussions with the parents on any particular topic, start having the challenging discussions, etc., so that the parents, the family members, can also be engaged. And there is also kind of having the two-way conversation between the family members, and then you are also learning different perspectives, different thoughts, ideas, and then that will kind of help you to grow, learn from your parents as well. All right, so that's a great thought, Hamza. And let me ask this final question, Hamza. I know we have around 35 participants here, and I'm sure there are so many students who may be aspiring to become maybe a data scientist, or maybe wants to be in one of the topmost institutions of the country, or maybe because we are living in the age of artificial intelligence, maybe some students want to become someone like you, AI researcher, or maybe a scientist in artificial intelligence. So, what are your tips or thoughts, maybe ideas you want to share with them, so that they can maybe start their journey and then start achieving the end goals?
okay, so that actually is that's an entire talk on its own.
Yeah.
So one thing is, of course, you have to, in order to be an AI researcher, you have to be at the very topmost institutes of our country. Unfortunately, in our country, we don't have a lot of good places for these novel kind of things. That's a problem with the education system as a whole. But there are good places. I was fortunate enough to make it to IASC, which had these kind of programs. So first, you have to clear JEE mains and JEE advanced. That's how you end up in IITs and IASC.
Right.
And that's the only route to being an AI researcher currently in India. So even then, you have to be like, have to at least be in the top 2,000 in those exams. That's the bare minimum bar these days.
Right.
You have to clear those exams. If you're already in your bachelor's, you can try to write. There's an exam called GATE, which helps you get admissions into IITs and IAC and other colleges as well. But
Right.
mainly for these colleges, JEE for high school students, and GATE for those already pursuing their bachelor's. There are also a lot of state entrance exams which you can do to end up in good places, but maybe not as good as that required to be a researcher. But of course, to achieve your potential, you need to try your luck at everything, right? So write all the competitive exams you can, keep up with all their dates and their information. That's a complete talk on its own. I can stretch this topic out for an hour. For now, I won't do that because there's a lot that can be said. I don't want to say something and cut it off in between. Another point I would like to mention is these days there's a big problem of I don't know how many are from Hoskote, but in Hoskote especially, there's a problem of getting into drugs these days.
Right.
So I'll say it openly, charas, ganja, these things are becoming very popular. So that's a big problem. If you are involved in this, stop immediately. I know it's easy to say, it's hard to do, but make sure that you keep your peers away from such things if that is a problem you have identified amongst your peers. Keep away from these things, they spoil your life entirely. Second thing, on a lighter note, but this is really important, take care of your health. So eat well, as in reduce your sugars, reduce carbohydrates, focus on high protein and high fiber diet. This helps your digestive system stay light. So when there's less energy required to digesting your food, when there's less stress on your digestive system, the amount of energy which is used for thinking and other activities increases a lot. So this is something I faced personally. I saw the changes almost immediately. So maintain a good diet, reduce oils, reduce sugars, stay completely away from junk food. These are also factors which contribute to lowering your attention span. And I think that would be all my tips for doing well in competitive exams, being a good learner, having critical thinking active.
Right. Now, finally, Hamza, thanks so much for sharing all those tips. I think they are really good tips. What was your contribution? I mean, when I say contribution, I'm referring to your parents. What was your parents' contribution when it comes to helping you, grooming you, and then ultimately making you one of the successful individuals?
So parents' contribution, I would say, was having me engaged in intellectual conversations. So mainly my father is really responsible for this. So throughout my childhood, I would ask him a lot of questions and he would respond back. He would try to increase his own knowledge, because after a point, even the parents don't know a lot of things. I used to ask things which he doesn't have information about, but he made it a point to find out about that topic, study that topic himself, and then explain and engage in discussions with me. So that way, both of us ended up making each other smarter and smarter.
Right.
So that helps a lot. So this solved another problem as well. I did not have a lot of people to engage in intellectual conversations with, but he filled that gap. My family filled that gap. I think their biggest contribution would be that. And the good thing is, anyone can do that. It does not matter from what background the person or the family is. Anyone who has at least some time and energy to figure things out and engage in intellectual conversation can do it. So I really recommend doing that with your family.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I think kudos to your parents and kudos to you.
Yes,
I think you have
definitely.
made it to the top. So congratulations on that as well, Hamza. Once again, thank you so much for joining with us today. Really appreciate your time. And everyone, thank you so much for joining. I think today what we learned is to be consistent in learning. So remember, consistent learning leads to light, right? So consistent learning leads to light. Ignorance of learning leads to darkness. So I have already given you the definition. I have told you what light means and darkness means. And today you got an opportunity to meet Isaac Hamza, who is a consistent learner. And today he's an intern AI researcher at Purdue University. So thank you so much for joining. And next week, we will again catch up, same time, 6 p.m. India time. And we will bring in another amazing guest speaker. So with this, thanks so much. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's Trainer Wasim. So you can go there and then subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading this presentation there as well. So thanks everyone. Bye for now. Hamza, take care. We'll see you in Bangalore.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.